Saying no allows you to say yes to things that really matter to you. Today I'm sharing my strategies with you to help you stop people pleasing so you can get ready to reclaim your life, your time, and your energy. Let's go. You say yes even though deep down you know you don't want to. You feel guilty for standing up and voicing your opinion because you don't want to be perceived as being too much or too extra, and you don't want to disappoint people. You sacrifice yourself for keeping the peace and making other people happy. You are afraid of conflict. People are stepping all over you. You are going out of your way to help people in order to maybe be liked a little bit more. And you want to keep peace and harmony. If you said yes to any of these, there's a good chance you're a people pleaser. If you caught yourself in this checklist and have a really hard time trying to find the right words to say, keep on watching because I have some really good examples later on. What is people pleasing and why are we doing it? People pleasing stems from low self-worth, and we're just so afraid of standing up for ourselves. Don't want to disappoint anybody, but also part of it is controlling other people's behavior. In that case, that they don't get mad or they're not angry. We pretty much abandon ourselves just to make sure other people are okay. The other part is we're not 100% sure about our own limits and our own boundaries. And we put more energy and effort into the relationship with other people, how other people will see us, instead of our own. Then there's also the part of assuming what will happen if we actually stand up for ourselves. We think that we have to go into an argument or into a fight, and that scares us, so we're going back to people please even though it doesn't feel great. I've been in all of these checklists from the beginning. I've been telling myself, oh, if I'm just doing that, I'm helping other people, it will make me feel good. But at the end of the day, I felt even more drained and I felt like I had less energy because I had no energy to begin with, no capacity, and I was still saying yes because I was afraid of the possible conflict that would come out of it. So let's get into the strategies and the tips. Tip number 1, make yourself the priority. First and foremost is to get really clear about your limits and your own boundaries. Where are they? Where do they start and where do they end? What helped me is grabbing a journal and writing down the people and situations where I had trouble standing up for myself and setting a healthy boundary. And it's interesting because I saw a pattern that it would mostly affect the same situations and the same people. If you get clear on that, I think it gives you a good picture of what you're dealing with, and it might be a little easier to tackle it. A very, very important point is that you are not responsible of the other person's emotions, feelings, and reactions. That doesn't mean we need to be rude and mean and just say what we think without any filters. Just be kind and genuine and know that you can be an empath, you can really emphasize with other people, you can still set a boundary and say no. In the case that people do get mad, they don't understand where we're coming from, it is still important to voice your opinion. Because at the end of the day, your well-being matters the most. It should matter the most. You need to know that you're okay with your decisions. And if other people get mad or angry, that's their reaction. But it's essential to speak our truth, even if it's scary, even if our voice is shaky. We're basically stripping away the old self. When we stop the habit of people pleasing, it feels like we're fighting a demon. It feels like we're fighting our old selves because our brains are trying to keep us safe. We are so used to the same patterns from childhood until teenage years and adulthood that habit, that people pleasing, kept us safe. When you break out of it, it's scary. And we just need to be practicing it. Which brings me to tip number 2. Work it like a muscle. Nothing here. Things are scary when we do it for the first time, but the more we practice, the better and the easier we will get at it. You can start really, really small. You can start at a restaurant. Somebody's getting your order wrong and you can let them know, hey, this is not what I ordered. And even this can feel big, where it's like, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll just eat it. No, you can say, this is not what I ordered. I'm paying for that food or that drink. I want this instead. Practice small. Maybe practice with people you feel secure, with people you know they don't react in a bad way, and just go from there. It's okay to say no. Be patient with yourself. You got this. Even if it feels scary, just stick with it. And we need to make sure that our well-being is put first and not the other people's well-being. An interesting fact that comes with saying no and standing up for yourself is that you will see which people are okay with you setting a boundary and which people aren't. Number 3, stop apologizing. That's a big one. I know that when I said no, I felt guilty. When you break out of the habit, you come up with excuses, over explanations, and apologies just to make the other person feel okay with your decision. But the truth is, you don't need an over explanation, you don't need an excuse, and you don't need to apologize. It's just okay to say that you are not available. And I think what comes with this over explanation is that we are trying to control the reaction again of other people, of the other person. Because if we explain, if we give a good explanation, if we have a good apology, if we have a good excuse, then they might not be mad at us. But we don't know how people will react. As we learned, we're responsible for our own feelings and reactions, and they are responsible for their own feelings and reactions. A really beautiful reminder is that saying no allows you to say yes to things that really matter to you. Saying yes to things that bring you joy and happiness, really. And an affirmation I like to come back to when I have a hard time saying no and it feels unbearable to set this boundary is saying no to others is saying yes to myself. Here are some examples that you can use to set a boundary. You can say, thank you for thinking of me, but I don't have the capacity right now. No, I'm not available. It's so kind you were thinking of me. I appreciate it, not this time. Or you can just say no. No in itself is a full sentence, no explanation needed. If you're not quite there yet and you feel if it's impossible to just say no, you can start with limitations. Meaning you could say something like, I can help you, but I only have 30 minutes available today. And the other person knows I'm getting the help, but she's only available for 30 minutes instead of the whole day or X hours, right? Especially if it feels overwhelming, that could be a good start. Number 4, embrace the uncomfortable. When we break free of the habit of people pleasing, it will feel uncomfortable, and that's just a fact. In the beginning, I said that we're stripping away these old layers of our old self, and therefore it has to feel like we are reborn and we're feeling this is a new skill that we have to learn, and it will feel uncomfortable. But if you embrace it, it will get easier with time. Just know that this is a normal part of the process. And one more thing I want to say is when people ask us for favors or help or things where they just need us, step back, take a deep breath, and listen to your inner voice. Listen to how your body responds, because sometimes we're rushing into, we have this helper syndrome that we want to help any and everyone all the time, and we don't really reflect on what's going on in our bodies. And sometimes like the inner voice in you already knows, maybe I don't have the capacity, maybe I don't have the energy, maybe I don't feel up for it. Whatever the reason is, it's okay, but listen to your inner voice and get really quiet for a time. And if they want an immediate answer, just let them know, oh, I would need time to think about that and I'll get back to you. And then you can really rethink if you want to do it, if you have the capacity, or if you don't. Breaking the habit of people pleasing can be really tricky, but you got this. I believe in you. If you feel like you're taking other people's emotions onto you and you're dealing with a lot of energy vampires, I think you should watch this next. I'll see you soon. Bye.